And welcome back, everybody, to another day of the play and another beautiful time to watch some more Val right here on the Upsurge Premier League. I have ravished the most ravishing man on the internet, joined here yet again by the one, the only, one of the most handsome people I know unequivocally on this planet. That being Paul Possible. Morrison, how you doing, Paul?
Back there? Oh, me? Oh, okay. Well,
right
thank
there,
you. I
homie.
appreciate that. I'm doing pretty great. This is going to be a very interesting match today. We definitely got what is probably going to be the closer of the two semifinals. We got Frontside versus Team Atlas. These two teams have already faced off once, and it didn't go so well for Frontside Ravish.
No, it did not. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of the thing. What happens when you walk into a room and you put your feet down twice on one spot? It was called a stomp. Which existed and and that existed both on Ascent and on Icebox, but Icebox this time, Paul, has been banned away. So Team Frontside wants to make sure that you do not want that run back at all, bro.
And let's actually pull up the map pick and ban because I think this is going to be very important. Last time, as you said, Icebox was the map that Atlas absolutely crushed Frontside on. They smartly banned it here. But Bind was the map that was very close between these two. And since then, both Team Atlas and Frontside have shown propensity towards Bind. Because of that, I think it's pretty safe to say Team Atlas have come out ahead in this pick and ban. They got first pick, so they knew Bind was going to be in the map pool no matter what for the first three. They were confident that out of those three maps, it would be Frontside's favorite. So Team Atlas then pick Ascent, which last time we saw Frontside on Ascent was against Akuma Valorant, and they got bodied. It was a close series, but Ascent was not close, right? So Team Atlas, they show that they are confident they can once again take down Frontside Esports, this time on Ascent, where Frontside have already shown weaknesses. And because of how this plays out, Team Atlas, as long as they can put up another good performance on Bind, there's a very real chance that even though I think Frontside have improved a lot since the last time these two teams met, this is going to be a 2-0. Very real chance of it.
All right, I respect your opinions, Paul. You're a very wise man, but with the way it's looking so far, I personally have not seen Team Atlas live in person, but Frontside I have been able to witness, and from what I've seen, they are very coin flip. I'd say it's if they're feeling themselves in the moment, they're able to carry the momentum forward to a couple more different round leads, right? Especially on the defense, where many teams do look a lot better. They do as well. Their attack can sometimes very well vary if they don't start off to a good start, especially with their pistols.
Yeah.
They end up being stuck in what I like to call that ping pong economy, right? Where you get your shot every other round and you're stuck wondering, all right, what am I really going to do here? So hopefully they don't fall into the hole this time. Now, we're looking at Ascent right now. What are you predicting for the Team Atlas to bring out? Anything that you think they might do special here, Paul?
For Atlas, it's hard to pin down exactly what they're going to do on Ascent because we haven't actually seen Ascent from Team Atlas, right? And if I'm Frontside, that's like one of the two good things they got out of this series, or out of this map pool, I should say. I mean, Bind obviously was going to be good for either team, so I think that's more of a neutral for Frontside. But Frontside, presumably, after they lost to Akuma Valorant, went back, workshopped Ascent some, hopefully are going to come into that map stronger than they did last time. Atlas, we don't know how confident they actually are. We don't know how good they actually are. There's also no footage, so it's very much question mark, up in the air. This could just be Atlas feeling like Frontside have an Ascent they can take advantage of, or maybe this just turns out to be, one of Atlas's favorite maps, and this is not going to be a first close map. It's very coin flippy to start off our day here for this series in the UPL.
Very much so. And now with these, of course, playoff stakes are on the line. The team that loses here will go on to the third place qualifier. But the team that wins will be going on to the grand finals match. That being that best of 5, right? Which should be very, very exciting. So, a lot at stake here for both of these teams if they want to make it all the way to the end here, Paul. Now, that question being, you raised something earlier about, it might not be the favorite map. One thing, though, I find the trend between so many of just of teams in the tier 3 scene, what's the best of one or best of three, we almost always end up seeing Ascent. I feel as though it's just the default map for so many of these teams to go to where they feel the most comfortable in, right? It's just, it's been around for long enough. It was one of the newest maps when you went into Valorant. It's short, good rotations, and you can opt in for a lot of different play styles, though. But I'm going to be honest, fam. I'm tired of seeing it. Play something else, please.
Yeah. You know, I agree. I think you know, we do get the how do I put this? Boring bans, right? Split Icebox. Those some coward bans, IMO. But it does look. Speaking honestly and objectively as a caster, makes perfect sense to go to Ascent. Like you said, the bread and butter of Valorant, it has turned out to be. Let's head on into the map here. Nothing too crazy coming out, at least looking quickly across the board from both these teams. More or less what we expected, at least in a wholesale composition, from both Atlas and Frontside.
Yeah, it's almost mirror across the board where Frontside bring out the Phoenix, which I remember we were talking about before, that they're more likely to do. But Atlas with a change up with that Reyna, I am always a very, very big proponent of seeing Reyna on Ascent. I think it has been and always will be one of her best maps, just considering how much control you can take with Delirious. You can literally block out entire sight lines and pushes. She is so good on it. One thing I'll tell you before as well, I'm very disappointed that we don't see the breach though, but let's look at these pushes though. This looks a little bit interesting.
And it's doubly interesting because compared to the last time we saw Team Atlas, they have some minor role swaps. Natesy was playing more duelist with Reyna and Jett, now over onto the Killjoy. Huncio gonna pick up the Jett themselves. Lean towards A here, but it's not a full committal as of yet. Atlas just playing with their options right now. Trying to read the default, trying to read the position from Frontside. If they can get a good read in this pistol round and rely on it for the next few rounds, that can give them a pretty solid advantage. So I like this patience coming out from Atlas to start us off.
Yeah, we see more often than not that Atlas, I find, usually just push out very aggressively, especially on the attack too. It's just tries to 5-man run it down to see if they can possibly catch a few early kicks, but pick might see one person peek out right outside of market. Smoke goes down though, but they have a little bit of info there. But that big molly from Grim Reaper to shut on the push, so they're just wasting Atlas's time at this point, and possibly even opting in race rotation that could come into it as the molly dissipates too, where it puts out the flash to the back, but Hyunsu still gets the pick as they make the onto site with just Moses trying to anchor it by himself.
Yeah, things falling apart here for Frontside on their defense. They tried all they could. I thought the timing on that flash as well as the recon dart worked out pretty well, but not able to actually swing and make anything of it. Now 2v4 for this retake. Split up right now. Smoked out from tree. Very difficult scenario for Frontside.
2v4, like you mentioned, right? I see Rodzi can try to get anything down. He has put the alarm bot as well, but his turret is not going to be up for the 30 seconds, so he can't do much with that at all. Was Jack, he's at the side, but Nazi's there. He doesn't get the shots at all. He wasn't even looking. Yo, fam, you got to land those, bro. You can't be doing like that. But he did a chance to confuse it, moves it onto the site, looking at the back, but the site is covered, and Jag cannot do anything as Frontside can take it down. Atlas go up.
Look, it's okay. It's okay, Natesy. Everybody, you're warming up. It's all right. And ultimately, that accomplishes what it needs to, right? Natesy challenges Jag enough in tree to where Rodzy's swinging out heaven alone, and they don't. Frontside, they don't get that crossfire, so Rodzy completely alone in a 1v3. No way you're gonna win that on a pistol round, really, unless Atlas have a horrible flub. Now we move on to the anti-eco. No force up from Frontside. Pretty expected stuff. They're on the defense. Hard to make a force happen there. They're not stacking too heavily. This is something I want to keep an eye out on, though. Actually, what they're doing in A main right now. Last time we saw Frontside, they really like to play around with this 3-person hit squad of Magician, Mazin, and Grim Reaper. It's just pistols right now for them into actual guns, so it's not really going to accomplish too much in the immediate, but keep an eye on those 3 moving around the map, sticking together, and going for aggressive plays like that as we move on throughout not only this map, but this series.
But seems as though that hit squad doesn't result in much for them, as like you mentioned, it was the anti-eco, so all they were hoping for was to possibly catch a couple picks and maybe even disturb some of Frontside's economy on their side. But unfortunately, it does not go their way. Atlas ends up picking up the second the game, though, and I liked what I saw before as well. But now comes real test, right? So right now, Atlas still all the specters, but Frontside full buys across the board, although a couple of light shields. And they go over the same push it again here, Paul. But but this time it is going to be a full 5-man. But all that Killjoy Utah stuck up onto A will likely make that a little bit harder. Jet down in trees, well, but they immediately smoke it off though. But as soon as the mollies go off, this should be this part should be made a little bit tougher. As soon as Super is in onto the site, so they might get picked up, but they know they are there, Paul.
Not able to get the spam damage they were looking for. The nanoswarms at least did something. Decent amount of damage tagged onto both PNK as well as Melix right now. But it's not the picks that they were needing. Full 5v5 for this rotate. Shock darts. Ooh, nearly taking out the Killjoy, but not quite.
Looks good so far. Still hiding out in the corner though. Now that they heard the auto queue, but with a lot of the Killjoy Utah already gone though, that dart was spotting them out. Initial flash as well, along with the Grim Paranoid to go all the way through the mid. Picks up so much space for Frontside as they're able to clean house. And Alice get picked apart one after another. And there's the defuse as well. Frontside get the first of the match.
Great retake there from Frontside. You could tell the patience from them as well, right? I believe they were waiting for the recon dart to come up, the shock darts to go in. They were prodding to see what utility they could get out of Atlas before they fully committed. And then they threw out the flashes, then they threw out the recon dart and were able to completely body Atlas. And because of where the nanoswarm was placed actually from Rodzi, they were able to set up in tree without too much of an issue. There wasn't a flank out mid this time that they had to worry about. Great little retake there from them. Now it's a full gun versus gun round. Hyunseo picking up the op. Already heading out to mid. Could very well pick up Grim Reaper if Grim Reaper ain't careful here.
They also have the Hunter's Fury too, so could have possibly been playing with that. Got over some space, but Moses though finds initial shots, gets tagged up a little bit, will get away, so knows at least that two are pushing down onto mid. That op shot will not do much at all for them, but at least they're able to clear RTs and push PNK back to where, near his teammates a little bit though. But now they get same setup across the board from Frontside on the defense. Atlas playing a little bit slower.
Yeah.
As you see PNK moving onto the B site, still has all the leaders in his hand with 3 behind him. This should be a lot of fun if they're able to execute as 2 move through market here, Paul.
I like the patience from Frontside. They saw that there was an op, and now they know that they're playing for picks, so they don't want to give it to him. Atlas setting up for this B hit. Ooh, I think I'm back now. I think my mic might have done something weird. Jag not doing anything weird though, just getting a nice pick. Atlas should be able to get onto B here, but it might be bloody.
But as they do so, immediately look at that beautiful dart though, catches almost every single one of them, and Hyunseo through the smoke able to get one trade for one, but to make it through onto the side, this is completely overpowered. The push has been read, and Jag will get 3 for it too. Now you said there were equal terms in terms of the guns, but Frontside looking a lot better on a set, Paul.
At least a lot better than the last time they played on Ascent. They're going to give Mazen the op too, which I think is a huge improvement. Last time we saw them here, Magician was using the op, and I was not a huge fan of that. The Sova, not the ideal opper, I'll tell you that much for free, Ravish. I'm really just liking the patience and the decision-making from Frontside. It's still pretty early on. We've got an eco round now for Atlas, so I think the question we have to start asking is, Atlas, when we get back to gun rounds, are they going to try and turn up the pace? Are they going to try and turn up the tempo and look for picks with high tempo, right? Because thus far, Frontside have sort of just let Atlas run out the clock. Part of that was due to the fact that, it was an attacking op and Atlas weren't able to take map control and really force Frontside's hand into peaking that operator. So it was certainly a difficult scenario, but Frontside absolutely get credit for playing that well. And again, just patience from them. They're not pushing out if they don't have to right now. They just trust the amount of map control they have, and Atlas seem a little bit antsy.
Yeah, Atlas looks like they want to go home and have dinner after this, which I know you and I both do as well. So, like, they're down, they're ready. They're like, all right, let's go get something over with, because because they probably got like a beautiful chicken parm waiting for them, but I don't got that. But possibly the smoke comes out of the A main. The magician has been watching the site the entire time. He saw that first killjoy too, and read the play as before. But as all of Alice getting in grouping on the one side shot dart, will tag up none. But they're playing a little bit slow. They smoke all the way at the back. The dart should find them all yet again as he's peek in, but they have red. They see. P and K, so Saul trades back and forth as they're able to go for the plant. The 4v4 situation where Magician has been there, man. He's stuck in the back instead of like the entire time. He's all right, I'm gonna let y'all push in, but just you wait until y'all give me a chance where as smooth as smoke dissipates, so will y'all's life. We get shot up by the sheriff. Oh no, when Atlas comes up on the top of the Thrifty. Wow, good job. I've
been praising the I've been praising the patience thus far from Frontside, but they looked a little discombobulated on that retake, right? Maybe a little bit too eager to try and go for those picks, not incredibly synchronized. Maybe that was just oops, we didn't respect the economy there, or the thrifty chance there. We'll see how that develops moving forward. Mostly a buy here. Grim Reaper's struggling a little bit, but it's still effectively a gun round. Grim Reaper also has that run it back too, so should he get a gun in his hands, if a pick comes out, then he's going to be very formidable. Nice little pick there from Mazin.
Well done. The Mazin has been peeking this angle almost every single time.
And keep in mind, that's flash is gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now you really don't have an option to go for much of a hard execute if you're Atlas. But it's also very difficult to try and play for picks, try and play for map control, because you haven't been able to do that thus far. Frontside haven't given you anything to work with. So they're inching their way towards B right now.
You should run.
They're going to go for the lockdown play. Hunter's Fury's at the ready, though.
Exactly. They could easily use it in response. The Magician's still just waiting for them to try to push in and use that dart, but it's just a little bit off the window, so won't get much information. They're possibly waiting for the push to the side as Aldo will make the way through. Hunter's Fury is actually saving the entire time, but the plant will go down. It is a 4v5 retake situation as they all held up at back to borders. There's still one in A main that could be quite crucial, but he gets spotted out with that dart really well done. And here comes retaliation from Atlas to clear out CT, get one pick, but trading Hunter back and forth, Paul. You want to go next to the dominance as well. Ends up hitting his team, unfortunately. So it's a little bit tragic, but it's made the walk on the side, trades back and forth. The Jag able to clear out the Sova, and yet again, this man is absolutely killing it as his entry omen. Nonetheless, playing the spot of the duelist. Frontside, yet again, on the retakes have looked phenomenal as they get the defuse.
Yeah, except against when they're against sheriffs, right? Two out of 2 gun rounds, though. We give them that. Yeah. A little bit of an awkward scenario Atlas kind of forced themselves into. They realized they weren't going to get picks across the map. I understand the thought process, so they were like, okay, so to get onto a site, we kind of have to go for the lockdown play because it's our only real way to force positioning and get some open space. But I mean, with how much there was still up for Magician there, that was always going to be difficult to pull off.
Get out of my way.
Ooh.
Oh, the collab! Whoa, there they are. That was sexy. That right there is some stuff that I want to see in my rec games, but nobody ever does. Man, Frontside watches that angle hard to do the paranoia, and he gets this thing at the side. Okay, yo, most of them are picking the angle like almost every single round. Y'all would have thought by now that, hey, man, he's not going to be there. He's always there. Remember that. He's watching, lurking, waiting. It's absolutely disgusting, and already now Atlas are stuck in such an awkward position. They had the gun round this time, but it doesn't seem to be going their way. A Jag 2 is this top fragger just lurking, because although Spike is not in their control, the round is in their control, Paul.
And I want to give credit to Frontside on the fact that they're already playing this map of Ascent far better than the last time we saw them on Ascent versus Akuma Valorant, right? I mean, this round's done and dusted. Melos is super dead here. But in terms of map control, this is like an entirely different team, right? We get that first pick. We know immediately Frontside know, hey, if there's 2 B main, there's probably more B lobby. So then there's the push out mid, the smoke top mid, I believe, so that, you know, nobody comes and messes with Mazin. He gets another one, spots the remaining players, and they just pinch. Easy round for Frontside. One last gun round before the economy is super broken for Atlas. They need to get this one on the board, or this is going to snowball out of control here. Have some tools to make it happen. The Empress, should they actually get a decent, like, plant down, is going to be very useful. But first things first, you actually got to get that spike on the site and have people to make it happen.
One change I would like though as well is that this time they gave Grim Reaper to the Yop, who's not holding it down by A. So I'm hoping that Posse that could be pretty good use, but Posse again peeks out, he catches his counterpart. Bro, I said it before, I'll say it again. This man has actually set up camp right outside of Cat. Like he's actually gonna have children that he invests in the 401k there. Mawson stays there now. And now he apparently stays in your head too with the way that he's been getting these picks back and forth, Paul. That is absolutely gross, but let's be honest. That was so close. That the Predator comes in, I love that, pushing through trees, all the forcing Alice all the way back though. Like there's the Empress you talked about as well. Trying to push at the side, but Rodzi doesn't care that you're the Empress because he's the realest, bro. Because you know what Lil Wayne said? You may be a goon, but what's a goon to a goblin? I believe that's really profound.
Is that a quote? Is that real?
Yeah.
I don't follow Lil Wayne at all. Wow. That is absurd. What else was absurd there was how Atlas stacked their flashes right on top of each other. PNK went for a very ambitious dry peek, then backed up, went for the leer, but at the same time came the paranoia. The spike is gonna get planted, but you bet your bottom dollar Vasha ain't getting away with this round, man. I mean, barely survives that flash, but gets caught by the recon dart. He's done. One pick won't even be allotted there. And I want to double back and actually shout out Mawson too, because this guy is actually deaf in one ear.
No, you don't.
Plays Valorant, is deaf in one ear, and pulls off crazy stuff like that. That is absurdly impressive. I have 2 working ears, and I can barely figure out where people are coming from in Valorant. Mawson is playing on another level right now, and that's the exact performance you want from your Jet. Absolutely love what's going on right now. I think it's very strange that Grim Reaper is opping. This is something I'd see out of my, my comp games in Plat, but if it works, it works. And at this point, Frontside have a 5-3 lead. I think they're doing just fine.
I mean, I'm generally impressed. This is like the arc of a shonen who gets beat out once as Grim Reaper. Bro, how do they
is that a second collab?
Similar collab, like within a span of 2 different rounds? That is gross. I thought the first one was sexy. At this point, I'm just attracted. This is not even fair, bro. How do you just keep doing this? And this cannot be happening at the point when they see the back, because Alice said again are on an eco too, when it gets taken down 2, and the third peaks in. They're just Paul.
And look how good the read is from Frontside right now. Atlas haven't had a single round on their attack where they've played a default and tried to like lurk or creep onto sites, right? Whether it was gun rounds or eco rounds, they're always doing the same thing together. So the minute anyone shows from Atlas, everybody from Frontside is collapsing. Not great for Mawson there, does get caught in mid, and that will be a gun going over. 3v3 now, but still a pretty decent advantage for Frontside as long as nobody gets caught by a lockdown here from Nate C. Frontside should still be in a very fine position to actually take this round.
30 seconds left.
Atlas, are they going to commit the lockdown? Are they going to go for it? They are. They're investing into this round. It's a risk.
I mean, it was a good recombo to catch out Melissa Forster all the way back in the CT. That means the side is clear, and it is theirs, Paul. So they will be allowed to plan, at least considering no Killjoy Yuto was there. Probably to plan a little bit at the side by green boxes. Oh no, just right in front. As you said, the running back is on Jordan. There are 2. The catch is not Nate, knows exactly where he is, and he goes down Green River, which is 3rd. It's a paranoia by Jag at the back to actually go ahead, line everybody on Speedway, and they clear out the entire site from one after another. What beautiful coordination from side for that retake. And that was a lot committed by Atlas there too.
Textbook play from Frontside, and it works out beautifully. Classic use of the run it back. The Owl Drone as the point of contact too. Gotta just love the clinical and disciplined use of that utility from Frontside right now. And Atlas, honestly, given the scenario they were in and still are in, I understand using the lockdown. You trade the lockdown for a little bit more economy. Because of how the round loss bonus stacks up now, even if Atlas lose this, they should get at least a tenuous gun round following this. So you trade the lockdown for the ability to actually get an extra gun round. That's not the worst thing in the world. Unfortunately, that does mean that this gun round is that much more difficult to pull off, right? Because while you have the Hunter's Fury, you pretty much got to save it for the lockdown. And you're going over to A. That's a good site for a retake with the lockdown. This is a difficult round for Atlas.
It sounds like you with that lockdown on lockdown, Paul. You seem to be a lot proponent of it, but CU is supposed to take a lot of damage from that Molly. So almost all the kills your util is completely used up, dead and gone. And there it is. We said it 4 times, but the Hunter's Fury be committed to take it out of sight.
Ouch.
And gets Magician as well as a little bit of a special gift. A PMK to Gustav Wilson. He's been absolutely tearing apart all the members of Atlas at this point, with him being down is absolutely huge, but Nate's watching the back. Do the paranoid, get down, caught apart. And this round is all Atlas.
Ooh, a little bit stressful for Atlas, but they recompose, and now they'll be able to buy for a solid few rounds. This is going to be a very competitive last 2 rounds. And Melix was able to use the Hunter's Fury to get rid of that lockdown, right? Able to get on the site then. Even got the pick onto Magician, right? And that's huge because the Recon Dart is a massive tool that Frontside have been using alongside the Owl Drone for a lot of these retakes. So getting the pick on the Sova specifically there gives a huge information deficit over to Frontside, and the coordination, the exact positions, then becomes so much harder. Nice flick too.
Nice, well done by Hyunsu to take that Moses. See, y'all finally let him out of his head, let him move out, bro. Good job to Atlas, sorry, for catching Mosin on his bluff. Right,
Yeah.
finally gets punished for that position, right? And it was going to happen eventually. I'm glad it happened sooner rather than later. So that really opens the round for Atlas, considering at this point mid side should be an option for them to push into if they want to look into push into B. But again, all the front side utilities is stacked up on A, but with Jag and Basha, so their smokes are down now as well. They only have the jet smokes to work with here, Paul, and it's just the Phoenix stacking right at A.
Ooh, this position is great too, because if a Lear comes out, it has to be perfectly positioned to force Grim Reaper off that angle, and even if he gets forced off, he can use a flash to keep Atlas at bay. I love this position from Grim Reaper with the op right now. Okay, well, he's gonna get forced off it early, so never mind.
Immediately, that's both Lears down though, so it's okay. A lot of predictions don't come through, but this one as well, Grim Reaper didn't predict that one coming in either. So now with the side open, the spike should go down. The 3v4 for Frontside versus Atlas, all winning at the side. Very good. Jag does smoke out A, takes the turn as well. Magician taking out Pink. Maybe Pink didn't have many Lears though, but still making an even 3v3 as they all to push into CT. Razi winning in through market, but Hyunsu has picked up the op though. That is a massive pickup. They're able to find it. Look at this darkness spot right at the last second. That Paranoid, if it one out, could be big, but no, but Razi beats early. Paranoid wasn't there. He gets caught out, and he tries to flank shot it, but doesn't get it, and that's Frontside with the retake.
That's just fun. That's just fun. Kudos to Atlas though. I mean, Frontside take the round, but I do like the adaptations that Atlas made there, right? That seemed to be a far more coordinated push onto the actual site. Then they kind of got pigeonholed into the site. They didn't have enough players to give themselves the option to play out in B main or to stack one player in logs. So it was easier for Frontside to get to the site. And then, you know, once they were able to do that, Paranoia, Owl Drone, Recon are all very good tools that Frontside have been showing that they are extremely proficient with. Now, last round of the half. Not much up in terms of impact ultimates. I mean, Bladestorm, obviously, if someone goes crazy, is always great.
But as he pushes in, though, that's both mollies pushed out, so that fast push will not be possible. Then, like you mentioned, there's a blast run from you. He clears out hell with all turrets down, but Jag at the back. They were not watching their flank, so immediately makes it a 4-4-4. But now they know that he's there, and you're watching for his push.
Nice.
There it is with that double peek. They're able to get him. A spike being down, the 2 pushing in through heaven. That make that 3, push the back. The knives are all gone now, Paul. So nothing to be had. He cannot be caught up. It was almost like acupuncture for them. They're not back and forth. Still is watching heaven. They're all just stuck out there, and Atlas are mowing them down one after another. It is just one member of Frontside. Jump edition, but can he make himself disappear?
Bro, Kinsio going for the knife. Last round it was the jumping off. This round it was a knife kill attempt. Dang, dude, he's playing to the gallery right now. Gotta love that. And I think Frontside in that round show the weakness of Phoenix opping, right? Easy pickups there for Atlas, and they're gonna finish off the round, get that pistol, and almost assuredly tie us up, right? Unless Frontside force and get that second round flip. This is the start that Atlas needed to this half to be certain.
So, like I was saying before, with the 2 pistols, right? Considering Atlas get the first pistol, now it's time for the second pistol.
No. This is not a pistol round, Ravish. This is the anti-eco, right?
All right.
If both teams have pistols in this round, a lot of people are making mistakes.
Okay, but like, what do Frontside have all across the board? What are those? Tell those to me.
But so what? You're gonna start calling eco rounds pistols now? Is that how we're playing this, Ravish?
That's pretty much all they. But it's exactly a pistol round. No, I'm basing a lot of what I say based on technicality, and your facts don't fit my narrative, so I don't like it here, Paul.
There are pistols present. That's as much as I'm gonna give you here. Frontside are not going for the force, though. You are correct.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So if they do want to try and flip this at this point, it comes down to getting a pick. So as long as Atlas are staying back, it's hard to imagine that Frontside are going to be able to get much out of this. That being said, look who's creeping up A lobby right now. So just has a frenzy, so this wouldn't be a.
No, you don't.
Oh shit! Today's going great, huh?
Oh, Dom?
Dom? Hey, what up?
Welcome back.
Placing sentry.
You okay? Okay. You know stream is dead, right? Okay. No worries. Well, I make sure you know.
I am trying to reconnect to the Parsec right now.
I am.
Shadows traveling.
Hi guys, sorry, my bad. We're back now. Welcome back to watching more Valorant with Paul and Ravish. Paul, a round happened. And Atlas.
It seems like nothing too crazy happened in that round. Frontside didn't get any sort of crazy flip, so we have continued on to the third round of the half, as expected thus
30
far.
seconds left.
Yeah, Frontside already up mid. They're gonna go for this B push. Nice. That's great anticipation there on those nano swarms. Unfortunately, doesn't completely stop Frontside though. Just buys some time for rotates, and doesn't buy enough.
No, unfortunately not, because I believe most actually spotted the grenade there too, but the spot where the shot was a little bit off, so was not able to take it out. But still, the over inevitable does end up happening. The site's taken over. Malix with a nice little shot dart as well. And I like, see, so was there know their lineups. I would like it and I respect y'all. I would never put that time in, but good for you guys for doing so. But 4v2 situation, Atlas coming up for the retake though. They're on a save as well, so let's see what they can do. Let's see if they're the same sort of luck that Frontside does on their pistols as of right now. Great for watching outside through. Market gets one after another. Can we stop at the push and just Huinsu with the frenzy with not much he can do. But never mind, I'm a liar. I'm completely a liar. Apparently he gets to pick and dash his way. Shout out to you, fam. I never doubted you for a second.
Let me ask you a question. What's it like to be destroyed not only physically but mentally?
Yes, he lives in my red free.
Oh boy. Well, Frontside, they get their first gun round here. Still a ways to go though. They do technically have a lead, but I wouldn't put the ball in their court just yet. They are gonna. I mean, it's still a gun round for them essentially. Light armor on Magician, but that's not the biggest deal anyways. It's not like Magician is the front liner if you're setting this up properly.
No.
I like this split too. You can get a lot of good mid control out of this. Turret to check B main. It won't spot Hyunseo in this deep position. So should Frontside later choose to double back towards B, they might get more than they bargained for.
One big thing they have right now as well is that run it back on side of Frontside. You could possibly want to use it to just rush it onto a site. We've seen they use it on B more often than not, though, considering a lot of the Killjoy Molly and the utility set up around A. Although the turret is there, like on the other end, everything else is just set up by trees here, Paul. So that's really interesting position considering they're probably anticipating the catwalk push. But as they're moving through mid, they've read this perfectly yet again. But the question is, can the Killjoy activate it in time? They don't spot it as an alarm bot, and there all the mollies do try to slow down that push, and they get picked off one after another.
Nice.
What a beautiful read from Atlas to shut down Frontside.
Natesy has had some killer predictive nano swarms in these past two rounds. Gotta love it when a Killjoy sets up unique utility round after round that really throws a thorn in the side of Atlas. Bro, Hyunseo just wants these style kills, man. He is hungry for the clips on his reel.
Bro, Hyunseo, bro, if you manage to tweet these out after this, at us. I'm gonna like and retweet it, fam. I promise you, straight up. So I want to see it happen. Consider you out here putting your life on the line just to get a couple flicks. I respect it. I'm all for it. You know what? You know, as they say, Paul, as an older man, there used to be a saying called "Do it for the vine," if you remember. Hyunseo right now.
I do remember the old days.
Look at the first step right now, right on the B side, the paranoid to push off the upper, but it doesn't matter because Razi Blade peeks in blind to the smoke and dies.
Hyunseo does get taken out though. That is an op dropped on site. Suddenly, this is a winnable round for Frontside. They have a player advantage. They've recovered, I believe, 2 guns on the actual site. This lockdown, a little bit difficult to deal with, but if Frontside can push out here and actually remove it, they have this round in the bag.
It actually covers all the way to the back to the border, so they'll just accept a couple of corners. They have 3 people detained. They're all at the back. They're just checking one after another. That's gonna be almost every single person on the side of Frontside. We just detained. They can't even push in, and that defuse should come in right at the last second. Jag cannot peek in time, and that I wouldn't say that's a ninja defuse. That's just a well played round by Atlas. So Frontside decides to take the hit.
Great heads up play there by Atlas. Natesy yet again being an absolute nut on this Killjoy on the defense right there. I can't think of many Killjoys that would think to use the lockdown that aggressively, that close to B, because there's such a risk, especially with that run it back available for Grim Reaper, that they just push out and destroy it, right? Overwhelm you. But then Natesy and the rest of Atlas are able to cover for that. They just wait out the clock and know that they're going to be able to get those detainees. Great round from Atlas. It'll get them a small lead here. But go back in the hands of Frontside. A lot of ults to work with, useful ones at that, and a nice pick from Mazen out mid.
Well, Mazen was P&K said, nah, fam. You gotta understand the property value of that space is mine, and it just went up because you went out there. I'm gonna need you out for that. No, thank you.
No squatting in my house.
Sorry, sir. If you could please leave. I don't appreciate you being in my area. This is my space. Yeah, she was watching, waiting. Ready gets the flick and immediately gets out. Though just need to get a second. But Razi decides, all right, you want to lock? All right, you want to kill my teammates? Let me just lock y'all down in sight. Again, with this position too, they still have a lot of space. He can position at the back of Boathouse, and he's trying to op-shot it through so he knows where it is. Hunter committed as well, pushing them all the way back. Lockdown still staying alive. And he still get. Oh, at the last second, he actually destroys it. Really well done. Our front side, and our Atlas stuck in a 2v4 here, Paul.
Shout out to how Frontside played that, though. They didn't just wait for the lockdown to go off. They pushed and caught players on the fringes because Atlas weren't able to destroy that lockdown instantly. They still had to respect it, even though it was destroyed in the very end. It did its job. And now Hyunso all alone with an op, undoubtedly going to attempt to save. But credit to Frontside. They are making this neck and neck. Based on the last time we saw Frontside on Ascent against Akuma Valorant, I did not think Ascent was going to be this close, Ravish. I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near this close. But Frontside have done the work, they've done the homework, and they are playing to Atlas's level. Atlas certainly playing well themselves thus far. But holy moly, if this ain't a banger of a map one.
And you gotta remember too, after this we're going to Bayern, right? A map that both of these teams genuinely prefer. So considering how this one map goes, it can go either way for the rest. And for Frontside too, obviously they want to try to steamroll it, so possibly, you know, they could be a lot closer on Bayern, but the way it's looking so far, and like you mentioned, right, Atlas seems like a different and much better team. I can't imagine how this goes. This is going to be tough to consider right now, although Atlas on the save this slow match saved the op on the side of UNC. So see what they're able to do with it. Ooh.
And the question is, okay, I was about to say, the question is how many ults can Atlas pull out of Frontside? The answer is at least one. Hunter's Fury, no longer something they got to deal with. If they could also get the run it back out of this round somehow, I think Atlas, you chalk this up as, you know, a small victory.
I mean, victories are about to be spoken about, and right now, I believe all of Atlas is saying, all right, that was cool, but like, but watch this, right? Because as far as they made the way out to the site, they decided not to hold on site as all of them, because last time that happened, it did not go through the way at all. So Atlas still pushing it again through heaven. Push at the back here. The Jet has immediately has to dash out. That was tough. He was almost caught and picked out, though, but that dart. But he's gonna put some pot shots at the back to Jag. Getting bashing over the side a little bit more to pushes Atlas into a 2v5 and consider the anti-eco as well. They're not gonna be able to do much at all. Trying to catch one pick after the Jag with a beautiful strafing peak, and Hyunsu waiting for any rotations. Get one after another, but he loses the op for it. Oh no!
I don't believe there's gonna be enough. Yeah, no, actually Hyunseo has enough to buy the op again, should he choose to, but it seems like that will not be the case. Full guns for Atlas here. I'm actually kind of a fan of this. I don't think that Atlas on their attack or defense have been getting the necessary value out of the op. Hyunseo obviously not doing a poor job with the operator, hitting the vast majority of the shots given up, but the pacing that side are going for right now, they're not giving Hyunseo tons of opportunities. If you trade one for one with an op, which is generally what's happening, that's still pretty good for the attacking team, right? You're not gonna, if you lose one player to an op, but get the op on the floor afterwards. You're not complaining if you're attacking.
I mean, I wouldn't be either, man. I see no reason to complain unless your mom makes you a beautiful chicken parm, and for some reason there's less chicken than there is parm, right? Then I'm
Does that have anything to do with the operator? Do you just have a 50 caliber rifle in your kitchen while cooking chicken parm rabbit? Like we don't have time to dig into the odd cooking habits of the most ravaging man on the internet. Most interesting cooking habits, I should say. Frontside already have tons of mid control right now too, and with that smoke deep mid, they're going to be able to get onto this B site without too much of an issue. The nano swarm going to create some difficulties here, but ultimately it's popped pretty early. There's still that staircase down. Got to be looking in the correct direction. Timing's gonna be difficult.
Good at the back. This is watching it back and forth. But Roger was on the trade for Natezy. That is absolutely huge. Considering if they all that down, the round would have more than likely been Atlas's, but Spike still not in Frontside's favor as they make it onto site. So a 3v2. They should be able to guess as look to push in. It's still in their favor as well as they're both just chilling, right? Because one on the back of boathouse and one watching the cross for them to actually go onto Speedway. So they can possibly get one, though they have the trade to the garage. He finds the hits, you get a second. He just has everybody in his line of sight. He does not miss when he fakes a TP and a 1v1 for Atlas up against Frontside. This is absolutely huge. As a Spike is taking, he's pushing it now. To the back through the boathouse, but he doesn't see the but Basha. What? What the fuck at the back? Slow the Grim Reaper and gets the defuse.
Basha had no idea Grim Reaper was there. Absolutely thought the man was backside. And Grim Reaper, even though he shoots first, he dies first. Rough stuff in the end of that round. I thought Rodzi was a miracle worker there. That push up onto oh my word, I'm forgetting the call out for it, but the balcony on the highway, that's what it's called. That push up onto highway from Rodzi, an incredibly ambitious play, but getting 2 picks off that swung the round back in their favor, and that last fight is just a heartbreaker for Frontside. Now we are all tied up, double digits for both teams. Ooh, yo, that you're gonna add to the reel. Maybe not the last part though.
Nah, it's just that clip ends really quickly, Paul, and it doesn't go any further.
Get the first 2 kills and you get out.
Exactly, that's all that matters. It was a good
about, how things actually went for Yunso there. Did not do the get out part, but I mean, that's still more than worthwhile, right?
Yet again, but that's part of Yunseo's narrative, right? Which we're seeing. So we know what happened, but nobody else, which is really what matters. But it was really good paranoia set up as well by Frontside teams to be able to catch them all out. But all the knives don't land right up in the air. It looked cool. At least that's what matters. It will force a full rotation as well from Frontside. Considering they only have one Molly as well, right at the end. None of them, I believe, are on Speedway. There's watching the entrance for B main. So and the Lombard isn't there, but the turret is, so they'll be able to read this play as soon as they push in. Check has the TP to possibly go for the double fake. Sorry, if you wanted to double back onto A.
30
but
seconds left.
as of right now, they're chilling. But there's a locked up ball.
Counter lockdown at the ready from Natezy. Love that play. Very difficult for Frontside to accomplish pretty much anything now. Ooh, this is risky from Jag. I don't think they heard him. They don't know.
Jag at the back, he comes in. Still suspect, but he's able to get one, but not able to get any more. So although it was a solid play, it takes 4 seconds to plan. It takes 8 to defuse, and Frontside only had 2. Allowing Atlas to get the round advantage. That round could have gone either way, but that Venn diagram set up by the teams though immediately stops the entire push, and even if it didn't, the turret would have read the play, put out the molly as well, would have slowed it down even more. But Frontside, right at the end, they were stuffed in at the beginning, so it was a tough round for them right from this jump. But now Atlas looking to possibly take us home here, Paul. 1-2 more rounds left to go. He started off good. Let's see if they can end good.
This is Atlas's map pick. to remind our audience here, they absolutely wanted to start out with a more dominant performance than this, but at this point, if they can get away with a map win is still more than enough. Bind, our second map, is still very good for Atlas, so momentum here is critical. But if Frontside can delay this, if they can push us to OT or even take the map, then all bets are off and everything has to be reevaluated. Frontside just playing slow right now as a unit, positioning towards B. Little do they know, that's where Natezy's set up. This Killjoy utility has been the bane of Frontside time and time again, and they're about to walk right into it.
Possibly, I would have liked that also to go over to Sova. Possibly not as free, but there's a running back. There's a pushing onto the side, immediately used. The catcher intervention immediately taken out his motion, puts it from the air. He will die as he falls. Watching the back to the front side, but Rodzi finds it right as he pushes in, and Pink just waiting and lurking to see if he catches it. Let's spike down as well on side pause, able to reposition and then watch it down on speedway. But Rodzi is on a highway to heaven with how many picks he's getting.
Little bit of miscommunication there from Atlas. Pink goes for the dismiss to check highway right as his buddy swings it, and they can't effectively trade it. Pincio still could go for the save, does have an op. Could pick up a gun here too and try to clutch this. That's gonna be the call. Vandal in hand, up on highway, running all the while. I believe that flash was forced out. Grim Reaper low, already down. A headshot for Pincio, and he'll clutch to put Atlas on map point.
That was clean. And you called the player there too. You were saying, hey man, he needed, like, the op is nice, but being able to switch out with the Green Reaper done as well too. It was so clean. He smokes out one end of the boat outside, although he's not able to get the height too, but right at the end, he peeks in, bomb shot, I should say, and then immediately turns around. I don't know what it is with these flicks, especially going on to B, and how these teams are able to read it. I gotta say, I'm genuinely impressed by these guys, man. It is so well done. It makes for just such fun Valorant. And now Atlas looking up. Ooh, go.
I invested a lot into that round. Yeah. So much into that round. It was a pivotal round for them, and they didn't make it work. They are absolutely on an intense back foot. At best, they'll have a Hunter's Fury here if they can get Magician a pick or if they can get some orb control. But just playing slow, waiting to see if Atlas bite.
Real quick, I want to point out that my man on Atlas, the Omen Basha, he has a judge. So
shout out.
I want to see him pop off for that.
I mean, the entirety of Frontside is about to run through trees, so... Oh, Bash has actually moved back over to main. Creeps next to that switch. Yeah. If I'm Frontside, I am reconsidering this push. You still have 50 seconds to go elsewhere, guys. No! Nice flick.
He shot a little bit too early. He was a little bit offensive on the trigger. And now that will cost them as we go down on Atlas. It is still a 5v3, so still very much doable. They have the Empress in one layer too if they want to enter onto the site. Let's focus circle to them, make that much more tougher. They need one pick to start it off, but Pink loses the trade, and although Hyunsu gets him back though, it is a 2v4. If I was Atlas right now, I would probably try to give this up. Maybe it's go for the same, at least save the off, but the committing full side is still want one, but they will get traded out by the other. Beautiful cross-platform setup. I mean, you get it.
Yeah, crossfire.
Thank you.
Good crossfire there from Frontside. I liked how they played with the tempo in that round too, right? They were very clearly going for an A execute, but they didn't just, you know, put their utility to it, right? They wanted to poke and prod a little bit, figure out where people were coming at them from, and make sure that they're able to get those picks. That's what even allows them onto the site. If I can get that kill on Basha, that whole round goes different.
With the paranoia, but this time you dies, and two will fall on the other end for Atlas. Though Nabasha opts for a different gun this time. It's going to be part of the Bucky gang, but the lockdown used as well to possibly clear them all out as fast as possible on the front side. Try to maintain control of the watch for the resiliency play, able to get one. That's all he will really do As he watches the
down,
cross,
B.
and he watches them all go in one after another. They will detain no one. But they know they're all there. 2v3. This is still very doable for Atlas.
Not much to work with economy-wise, though. Natezy trying to clear out B main. Got to keep his head on a swivel, though. Able to take out the opposing Killjoy, and no one's up there to swing him. That recon dart isn't going to get much for Frontside, honestly. It's just going to delay Atlas ever so slightly, but they wanted to pick up a weapon anyways. Paranoia doesn't give him a kill. Shock darts. Ooh, if it's timed right, this second one?
Player standing.
Not quite, but Jack will finish it off.
Enemy remaining.
Natezy all alone. He gets the first, needs a headshot for the second, and won't be able to do it. Let's head to overtime, Ravish.
Yes, sir. Man, it was looking so back and forth between these two teams, and Atlas right at the able to clutch out Jag, the man with the buns of steel, maintaining his trigger finger on the ready. Because we've seen Frontside do these flicks before and decide that it was his time to step on up. So shout out to him. Really loved it.
And let's be honest here. Atlas in that round, they kind of lived by the style, died by the style, right? Yeah. That sending it out B main. Don't know quite if that was it. Didn't quite get to see if the Lear was properly timed there from Pink, but how quickly Pink died afterwards. Did like it? Well, no, at least blind when Hyunseo did that. So I mean, they did the best they could with the resources they had, but it was a rough position for Atlas in that round. Regardless, they didn't have a ton to work with economy-wise. Now on to overtime. Like I said, all bets are off, Ravish. They kind of know. They kind of know Mawson's here, though. They're spamming that box. They already see him. Yeah.
I'd be shocked if they did it. There's no way they don't know. At this point, this guy has lived there. Like at that space, man. The entire time he was on the defense. So they decided at least, you know, that we're not going to get caught up by it. But Atlas playing real slow and steady. This is what we saw from them before as well. And considering how close it is, I wouldn't waste any chances either. No real like set up from the grenades right now on the Killjoy, which really to stop the entry is just one set up by a door of the turret that the catch possibly anyone entering into the site. And considering the turret is might be made, it could possibly like was able to slow them down, but won't be able to do so as of right now. So on the side, Rod's able to get one, but really get treated back. Though it's such a tough angle to be in, but he does his job. He's at least able to get another. But Basha is clearing the house with 3 at this point, and just 2 left on side of front side. A spike goes down.
Very difficult retake now. That recon dart doesn't spot squat. You just have to inch your way onto the site. I mean, at least Mawson gets that first pick. Recon dart does go out here, so a little bit tricky. Starting to run out of time here, Ravish.
Yeah, just what they can do is Shock Dart used to a posture to clear out B main. That's look to push in. They have the spike in front of their eyes, but I think the defuse one play has to be made, but Mawson needs to land his shot. Does not able to do so, so Natezy gets the better of him yet again. And that's Atlas going up. Is very, very tense overtime situation. Atlas on the defense. They look good on it before. We have to see them pop off again, Paul.
And let's keep in mind, both halves were 7-5 in favor of the defending team. Right? So, getting that first round on attacks, got to feel good for Atlas. 7-5, it's not a crazy, huge difference. You know, mathematically, technically, you should favor Atlas to win here. But still a lot to play for. Already, that great turret out B main. Just a classic one there. But Frontside, they got other plans here. Once again, though, gotta watch that Killjoy utility. They spot the turret. They should know now where Natezy is. I'd like to see Frontside just fall off of A completely. Go mid, get some control there, work it toward B. You have information B main. You can survive that at the very least. And it's like that's what they're doing.
They're listening to your advice. You're the secret coach in your head and into their hearts, that letting them know that this is what y'all should be doing. So, yeah, definitely, this is a fantastic play for them to be able to actually possibly get this round back, because this is do or die for them. I mean, Sova playing very far to the right by spawn. Possibly, if he's able to get a dart at this point or catch anything going through market, it could be big. As it slowly inched their way over onto the B site. With 5 men strong, they shoot down the door, so they have to go in. As right now, Atlas look to reposition on site. Here comes Grim Reaper to possibly watch
30
anybody
seconds
off of the
left.
flank though. So there was spot absolutely no one, but Lear as well used by solo to push here, Paul. But they're not able to get anybody as of yet. The body peeking through both houses, it's being traded back and forth. It is even, but PNK gets 2. The spike should go down.
Pink does what he can there. Like this position from Grim Reaper, it's deep. When there's 3 players, you don't necessarily expect one to be out market, but a recon dart is going to clear him out, and he doesn't know which side he's going to get swung from. Natesy will take him down, and now it's just left to Moss and a Magician.
So it's just a 2v2 as they both pushing up to speed, but that dart catches them yet again. So they know exactly where they come from. Lamasa has landed shots, gets 1. Can't get the second, has to go through the yellow, but doesn't matter. Magician is there with a trade. Now 1v1. We've been in position before, but Natesy is just better. And we're going to double overtime. No, we're not. We won.
Oh, we're not. We are. Ooh, wait. Oh, it was so close. Okay, it actually wasn't that close. My sound was messing with me there. It was 2 full seconds. Natesy had that one. Congratulations to Atlas for the first map. Still at least one more to play, though. And a reminder, this was Atlas's map pick. That was not as clean as I bet that they were hoping for on Ascent. They picked a map that Frontside got bodied on the other week. You have to imagine that Atlas were hoping to get away cleaner than overtime in general. Still got out very well in overtime. You can definitely tell that the how Atlas came online late into both halves definitely gave them advantage. They figured out sort of what Frontside were liking to do. You saw that on their attack where they pushed Mazen out of Cubby early, and you also saw that on their defense where they were able to comfortably set up on that A site with the Killjoy utility and force Frontside's hand over to the other side where they had very little information.
Exactly. So just being able to read the positions and what the opposing team wanted to do really and genuinely helped them out, because for a very long time when they're on the first half, they just weren't punishing the same things that the Frontside was doing over and over and over again. It's like a certain point we were saying before, like, these people have set up tens of families at certain spots and they decide. But finally, like you mentioned, learning from their mistakes and growing as a team. We'll see if they continue to do more of that as we head in onto Bind. Now, both teams like this map, but which one will come out on top? Y'all wait and find out. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back yet again to the Upsurge Premier League right here for Valorant Reps. You are joined yet again by Possible, and we just witnessed an absolutely fantastic overtime match between Team Atlas and Frontside. We were not expecting it for it to be this close. Frontside previously, from like empirical evidence, haven't done that great on Ascent, but today here, Paul, they look like a very different and a much improved team.
And to be fair, to Frontside, it was just one map that we saw from them on Ascent. It was a very one-sided map where they kind of got bodied by a team that saw an early exit in the playoffs, right? So there was some precedent, but I'm glad to see that whatever was going wrong that day doesn't transfer over to today. Frontside had a very close map. Despite it being Atlas's map pick, they wanted to go to Ascent. They narrowly won it in a 14-12 overtime, for those of you who might just be joining us. Now we go to Bind. And, originally, when we were coming into this series, Ravish, I gave Atlas, I thought this was going to be the more contested map, but I gave Atlas a slight edge. Now, it's honestly anybody's game.
It genuinely and truly is, and I think a lot of it will come down to with the play styles when it goes into these agent picks, right? Because you saw that's what dictated a lot of what each team wanted to do, especially comparing it to the Phoenix to the Reyna. Now, Reyna expected to have more of a presence, for especially on Ascent too, but we're gonna get to see that. But the Phoenix, though, with user running back time and time again to enter onto either site, make space for his team, was absolutely crucial. So I'm interested to see if Frontside is able to run that back again. No response. All right, I get it. It's fine. But on the side, they decided to go for a little bit of a change. I would personally love to see a bridge because I believe he's just so strong on this. And Nate's hovering it. Don't tempt me, fam. Oh, yeah. Oh,
so this kind of plays to a broader talking point for Atlas in general. They swap roles all the time. When we saw them in the first series where they played against Frontside, they had 3 role swaps going from Bind to Icebox. Now they have another, 3-4 role swaps coming into this map? It's very intriguing because this isn't even the same setup they had the last time we saw Atlas on Bind. It's not even close, honestly. Basha is playing the Rays, where before they played the Brim. Like it is just pretty much wholesale swaps. Fascinating how Atlas are constantly being able to make this work. Business as usual for Frontside right now, who are going to be coming out on the attack first. Very reasonable composition from them. And honestly, looking at Atlas's comp in general, this is a very forward-going comp. You can see Breach and 2 duelists set up B long. I wonder how this will go.
I mean, they're very aggressive, but you see time and time again, but Jagged's cut out the back, and Pink gets 2. They're just getting absolutely decimated, Paul. As Frontside has to go on the backside, being spawn side. Rodzy's able to get 1 consolation pick, but he's just stuck. He's knocked up, he's concussed, and he's sad because all his teammates have died, and he can do nothing about it. He doesn't have the spike. He'll try to get 1 more. His peeks in, gets another. But all right, take your picks. Who kills him? Who kills him? Take your pick.
I was too late. I'm not gonna come in and do the late prediction there. What I will do is an early prediction on how we see the map play out here. The last time we saw Atlas play Bind, which admittedly was the very first match of the season against Frontside, they really loved to play around B long and Garden specifically, right? Or Octagon, however you want to phrase it. They love to have control of that. They will almost always send 3 players there to make sure they retain control on that side, and they will leave A more so vulnerable. That's actually something Frontside adapted to do themselves later on in the season. So control of Garden is going to mean a lot here when we get into these later rounds. This is, the anti-eco here. Pretty rough round for Frontside to try and walk away from. They get the plant, and no, they don't.
No, they do. No, yeah, because Bosch is able to use that grenade to really stop them out. But
there we go.
They're able to make their way onto the site, cover themselves with the pistol, but Ensue with the dart will pick up without the. It's not even with the guns this time. Half of these kills have been through just util, Paul. Now, Frontside yet again, they've been in this situation before, but this time is Magician, and perhaps you can make the rest of Atlas disappear, or you can make his stuff disappear, and you choose the latter. It's not as impressive of a trick, but the pistol round ultimately was going to go their way.
Frontside don't force in the anti-eco, so considering that they got a spike plant, Patrick, they succeed in that round. Very quick rounds here. And keep in mind, this is Frontside's map pick, so out of the next 2 maps in the series, I mean, they're more comfortable on Bind in theory than Haven, so the fact that they already lost Ascent was already rough enough. If they don't get off to the right start here in their first gun round, momentum is going to very much work against them. Valorant, a very momentum-based game. Mawson barely getting out of dodge with the jet dash there, away from the play-out sand.
They know at least one is holding down by Hookah is it right now, Paul, because with this kind of position, Atlas have yet again read the position for the side of Frontside. They're holding 3 down on B. It's way to possibly push in though, but the breach is there looking down by long. He knows that possibly at least one could be there too. I'm interested if he possibly flashes and pushes in super aggressively. It could definitely be a possibility as they make their way up B and through Hookah. Jag is just waiting, watching, and lurking. Because he gets but Nate has a super aggressive angle. Should be able to melee tag him down as soon as he enters in. Now it's just the mention, which is the possibility of a trigger. It needs to be the jet. Begins to use the drone, gets shot at the okay, so they know Jag is right down by long. Probably why you said her on the side, Paul.
Ooh, Mawson kind of blowing him away here. Ginzio barely able to hide behind that box.
30 seconds left.
But there's so many frontside players he has to deal with. Mawson just on a tear right now. 17 health. It's going to be kind of difficult for him to get the ace. But depending on how the timing works out here on this peak for Melix.
Jag doesn't give it to. That's so sad. But so impressive play from Mawson though, because we was waiting on the trigger for them to enter onto the site. The wall used from the Phoenix along with the flash though, but Mawson sitting all the way at the back, able to mold them now one after another. Because I find Paul, they just Atlas kind of knew where Frontside kind of knew where all of Atlas was, even though they just took so long.
And Atlas gave up a lot of long and garden control there. I think considering that lost them that round, I would expect them to pivot back towards that objective, and you can already see Pink creeping his way in and covered by Nate. I'm sorry, not wait. Yes, Natesy as well.
Let's see. So it's a similar setup yet again, but I like that they're decided to play it equally as slow that they have in the past couple rounds. So like the front, so you know, aren't being over aggressive and overzealous, considering it is another gun round for them. But Pink pushes up very, very far. Those are going from the brain onto the jet. Not able to catch one, but just small little pot shots as well. Well, force rotation all the way onto the A site. Look at this setup there. This is how the crossfire set up all the shots, but they push through A main. No one is U-Haul. Either they're likely to use the firewalls while they're curving it out to get the plant down here, Paul. Considering no one is there, they should be able to hear this as of right now.
Are Frontside going to push further, though? They've smoked very close. That's shallow control of the site. That makes it very hard to hold in this post plant, especially considering Atlas is already here and spamming them. Again, the grenade denies the spike plant. And now we only have 25 seconds left. Frontside have to go forward or just leave. They choose to go through the TP. And Jag giving them something else to worry about, too, but it rotates here. Natesy coming around through elbow. This is still very dicey for Frontside.
Yes, he's playing the most at the back. He used it nice. He misses the shot. Unfortunately, Wisman Pink punishes it for it. I thought it was going to get out in time as Great Bird sold the holding on the side right by the spike though, but his bunker's being cleared after another wake up. Everybody, 2000 is over. There was no Y2K. Y'all can come out of there. Spike walks, but the clear as well as Jags left in hookah and gets shot one after another. Atlas go up.
Never change, Ravish. Never change. Oh boy, what a great round from Atlas too. And I'm, you know, as much as I don't normally like role swaps, right? Because I think it makes it difficult to actually know the same sort of synergistic patterns your teammates like to play on, because they're constantly changing the types of agents they play. That's why I normally don't like role swaps. At the very least, I gotta commend Basha. These nades have been nasty. You know, in Project A, you don't kill with abilities; they create tactical advantages, but so to speak. Basha might have maybe has something to say about that one. He has been dominating them, and this makes it very difficult for Frontside too. I mean, now they're not on a full buy; they're on a light buy, right? So this is already going to be a very hard round. But B, you know, if they go B long, they're basically accepting that they're running into 3 flashes in the Sova, right? If they go A, now they're gonna have to start like baiting out the paint shell extremely early if they want to have any comp actually getting the plant off. Rough stuff right now. At least they've gotten good position, but no picks to come with it.
U-Haul control is there though, but as all of Atlas is set up at the back right outside waiting and just antsy for them to try to push it out to the side as Basha puts it down, goes Magician, and he gets a second. He's just ready. He knows exactly where they are. He's putting them down and said, come on man, peek out. I promise I won't hurt you, but low-key he will. You know he will. Don't trust him. Jag left at the back with just the Marshall. You probably just try to get, you know, maybe just a body shot. You probably click one more head, but it's a 5v1. It's only so much he can do. That probably the answer to that is maybe nothing at all. He's just smoke out, and he and K take him out.
Turns out it ain't just Kensio. It's just Atlas Jets in general, who like to go for those end of the round style points. Great start here for Atlas. Frontside, they got to start building some sort of economy, some sort of momentum. They have the ults to do it. Run it back for when they get onto a site. I'd like to see them play slow early, try and enable Rodzi for a pick, and then use the neural theft to really mess with Atlas's map control. Because they should know at least roughly where everybody starts out, right? So if you can throw Atlas's positioning off, get them to split up mid off the back of a pick, you have a real chance. You gotta not die to the op, and at least at the start, doing okay in that metric.
Ooh, it was a little bit close. If that shot lands, a lot of that push is immediately dissipated. But get ready with that dart. You get 2 picks. Hit Massacre Reaper. He had to run it back too. That's so important. That's so much usability down from Frontside as well. As they're locked in a very tough position. Paul, Jag has the op as well. He wants to do contesting ops, but as right now will get caught just barely. Does he get touched by the dart? And now
I mean, he still would have been hurt. He's just not, you know, revealed and murdered.
you know that's a trade that I'm willing to trade almost every single time.
I'll take that one. You know, I would rather they know where I am than kill me.
Exactly. It's
Basha
because
still got the paint shell though. I mean, creeping up. At least there's a lot of pressure on Basha now. He has to be watching for this lamps. Just throw that paint shell forward. Not able to actually deny the spike this time, but still gets the frags necessary. And with PNK up in heaven, this is getting even more dicey. Mawson with 1, but so long to go before Frontside get the round that they really need.
Mawson just stuck down in the U-Haul, like you mentioned. He doesn't have the knives. He has a couple of smokes, maybe a draft out though, but they know where he is. They caught him, and as they go over the defuse, he cannot do much at all. Holding so deep back in the sight, and he pops up and decides, hello friends, I am here. Please take me wherever I shall go. Decides to give up his life up for his team on the front side. In a tough spot, Paul.
Atlas doing phenomenally, looking to close this out 2-0. This is the kind of performance we would expect from them on Bind. I mean, they've been so strong on it in the past. I think outside of their match against Reformed, they're undefeated on Bind. Reformed, I believe, is the name that team is going by now. Atlas off to a great start here. Have a Rolling Thunder too.
Let's go.
Grim Reaper still holding on to this. Run it back. A lot of impact ultimates available for Frontside right now. But onto a Thrifty. They got to get a pick. They got to get some guns before they can really do much with them.
Basha, though, I find just always has this habit of of either holding really deep back into the site or really far close to, because especially with the position into hookah, if they were to push it onto him, the most he could have done was maybe get 1 to 2 picks, especially if they double peeked him. But with the grenades, really staving them off and calling for the rotate, going onto A, though it is just, you know, Melix holding it a little bit mid, pushes, like, moves it onto U-Haul. But look at this, though, like the Jet hold it right in front of TP. Posse catches someone if they want to push in through showers, but smokes will be put down. Spike not down as of yet. Leaves all 3 smokes. The Mosin use. He's concussed. He's a lot of damage, but no one dies as of yet. Paul, Spike is still in play as Pink is watching from heaven with the op.
That paint shell's already been used too, so you can plant the spike without having about that at least.
Yeah.
5v5, but I mean, you're working at such a firepower disadvantage right now. If you're front side, they're all clustered up too. They decide to not plant the spike once again, absconding through the TP to the other site. Run it back available. Grim Reaper could charge through the back site, but he's caught by the Rolling Thunder. Great help from Nate.
He really start that push though, and here comes all. But Drake is there, is waiting, and the sheriff hits harder. This man is McCree with those flicks, but he only has 6 guns in the barrel, but he needs 2 though. 8 seconds only left to go. They don't have enough time to plan, and Bosch will clear them all out yet again, Paul. This man is an animal.
Good attempt there from Frontside. Keep in mind, they had no economy going into that round. Loved that flank coming out from Jag, but unfortunately, sometimes you pop. I mean, if he starts that with a gun, maybe things go differently. He recovered one, but the spike getting dropped on the floor there, the timing's not quite working out.
Here.
And now Frontside, it is 1-6, still holding on to these. Okay, if Frontside don't get this round and they still have ultimates, there's a serious problem. If they don't get this round and they don't have ultimates, there's also a problem. What I'm saying, Ravish, is they need to get this round and probably use ultimates to do it. Like, we need to see some proactivity from Frontside, and right now, they're just sitting back, waiting for Atlas to come to them. I understand it because Atlas have played very aggressive in a lot of these rounds.
Yeah.
But when you have a lead like this, there's no reason for Atlas to do those crazy, you know, we breach flash and rush out somewhere, right? Pink's just gonna hold this angle all day, probably get a kill off of it.
Joke's over. You're dead.
But there's the first ultimate coming in, and along with the knives as well to enter onto the side, like you mentioned, the same shallow hole from both sides. But Pink, though, even though Smoke able to get one shot on the ultimate there, but Malix holding into shower, making sure they cannot get flamed. And so he flash as well. It makes it 3v3. A lot of ultimates used already, but the neural theft was not used. Oh, I believe it was used already. So you know exactly where they are and where they're holding, and Jack coming out of the flank going into heaven. This could be really, really big, but they have read it. They don't want, you know, both these teams cover each other's back, so Spike's still not down, and just there it goes. Jack not pushing it as of yet, but Yunsu's read this. I believe he knows.
No, he had an idea, but he doesn't know for a fact that Jag has pushed that far up. Could absolutely get flanked. The recon dart will expose one and fragged through the box. Down goes the Magician. Grim Reaper has to hold down the fort, has to buy enough time for Jag to get into position, and Jag's got to hit these. He's got to get these kills. He at least gets 2, but only 30 health remaining. Natesy completely full and has plenty of time to work with.
I believe Jag has a line up there at the back, but he can try to possibly like pot shot him there. He dinks him just for a little bit. It is at half. He's sticking it. He knows it, but there it is. The clutch from Jag. Beautiful flank.
Ever so close. But whereas last time on the Thrifty, or on the Eco, I should say, it wasn't actually a Thrifty. Jag's flank, he got a lot out of it, but it wasn't enough. This time, he'll get the round for his team. Frontside now able to at least chain tenuous buys together and try to rebuild some momentum. They only use the run it back too, to actually, or the run it back and the Blade Storm, now that I look at it, to get onto the site there. So they still have great information alts. They can play the map very effectively in this round.
They do still have that little staff still along. We'll be able to clear out U-Haul with that. Nice, okay, a nice auto screen as well. But look at this, almost everybody else going on to the B site. Sorry, it's going on to the A site. Sorry, but I still think for the will cause and for the rotations. Immediately with 2 down on here for Atlas. This could be a little bit of a tough retake as Jag holding out his favorite position on heaven. Was able to clutch from him before. Let's see if he can do it again. Hyunsu, the timer should just run out the last second. Barely just catches Jack, so they know where he's holding. Fair no use, they'll stay them off, but looking to push in the better leader. They won't catch him as of yet. Shot double tag him. The flash at the back, but he peeks in a little bit aggressively, not able, ready, but two of them to be there. 3v4, very doable. Spike is taken down here, Paul. They don't have much time as they're all holding really closed off positions.
Look at this. They're worried about a flank coming all the way around from B. They're going to just go and clear that out. Save on this round. Would have been a pretty difficult retake. I don't think the utility worked out for Atlas in that scenario for them to actually pull that off. An understandable decision, especially considering that they have a very comfortable lead, but they were starting to run low on economy, right? So they want to keep gun rounds in the bank. They want to still be able to take it to front side. And now, because of that 3-person save, they're able to, right? It would have been a risk. I absolutely appreciate Atlas pulling back. Oh boy, Basha, you know he's going to do it. You know he's going straight up A short. He's got a judge, he's got the showstopper, and nothing to lose.
I mean, we see it right now. He pushes it immediately, and there's one. Put immediately onto Mostly. Gets a couple shots out of him as well. Those grenades have been on point here for Basha, but we'll see if he makes the work though. But a really solid opening pick. Although Frontside still do have the middle theft, I believe. So not outside of Yuso being gone, but still have the elements to work with. But losing the jet is fun. But like you mentioned, the fact he's able to go in, get the ult off, and live, that's big. Considering how deep he went.
Yeah, absolutely. Great cover there from Atlas. That's one of the things I love about how Atlas do these aggressive plays. They don't just send one player on a lone mission. They group up and they know exactly how they want to play together as a team. Oh, Basha. Oh boy. If he's still here when this smoke runs out, that's gonna be an issue for him.
As you know, he cannot.
Okay, he's leaving.
Yeah, decides to move position. Good call by him, but Pink faces it out to Grid Reaper. This big all through heaven. He makes the call and he lands the shot. This man is absolutely a demon with these, bro. Because like you didn't even have to know. He decides. I'm guessing he's probably there. Bang.
Geometried him, dude. Saw the spray coming out of the smoke. Said, you know what? Showers is pretty shallow. I bet he's standing right there. Nailed him. Now 7-3 lead for Atlas. Gotta love the way they played that round. They got that one pick. They looked for a little bit more, but they didn't overcommit, right? You know, they didn't say, oh, we got one pick that we know they're all market. Let's just rush forward and probably die to them. Instead, they peeled back. They made Frontside question where they would be standing. You know, there was no U-Haul control. There was no showers control for Frontside. They just narrowly went up onto the site and tried to plant and got bodied afterwards.
Now Frontside though, pretty much mostly on Erika with just one AR to the name. Sorry, with just 2 ARs to the name, I believe. So they're completely out of the gunfight, but definitely lacking in the same firepower as you mentioned before. As Pink yet again piecing onto Mosin, bro. He had Heaven covered immediately at the back, but Nixie makes a good call with a flash at the back. They had him in front of him and not able to take him down. Immediately pushing Frontside back. It is just Razi left. He has another theft. If he committed it, I would be shocked. If he got to go for the play. Maybe he's feeling it. Maybe he's down for it. But if I was him, I would save this gun and I would immediately back off because he knows the op is watching, but he decided he wants to get hit by again.
Well, well, in Razi's defense there, right? There's still enough money to buy for Frontside here, and when you're down 7-3, you got to try and make some kind of play. This half has quickly gotten away from Frontside. They made a little bit of a resurgence a couple rounds ago, but they have once again lost their momentum. And you need at least an 8-4 here to feel comfortable on your defense, right? Lot available for Atlas in this final round. Hard to see Frontside walking away with this unless they get a very strong post plant on one of these sites.
Yeah, definitely a lot deeper one than usual too. Like the ones, the very shallow ones we've been seeing that set up with the firewalls have not worked up in their favor. Labasha is just better with it at the point. Immediately cats out Razi out the flank though. The Hunter's Fury will tag up none of them, at least so. All very healthy and waiting to push it the back. The smoke, he's flash, but Yunsu will die for a U-Haul still not in their control. but Spike will go down, I believe. Oh, no, they decided to stop it. They decided not to commit at all. Will they go for the retake though? Or sorry, the rotate?
They could go through the TP yet again. Magician faking the plant, baiting out Basha. Rolling Thunder hits the floor though. Pink dashing on forward. Didn't expect the alternate angle though, and second guesses himself. Now Natesy's left all alone. Only 30 health, but a ton of utility to make these flashes happen. Grim Reaper free fire in that angle though, and Frontside at least walk away with an acceptable half.
You said they needed to do 8-4. They gave you 8-4, Paul. So yet again, I'm sure as a secret low-key coach, you can be proud of them. You know, go ahead and give them a tap on the back, a little bit of candy that they really clutched that out. But now going in on the attack right here for Frontside, though, it has been kind of back because you saw in the previous map, it was a little bit tough for them. So going into this, what are you looking at Atlas to do to possibly cut this out?
Atlas, it all starts with momentum, right? Keep in mind that they do have a very aggressive composition. That's one of the reasons that they were playing so far forward. That and Atlas, obviously, you know, as we've seen from several plays at this point, just like those style points on the board, if nothing else, right? But you do have to keep in mind, Atlas's composition was built for this attack round. Already a great concuss there too. You see at least one over in long. And look at Basha coming around from hookah too, quickly clears that out, gets so much information. Hey, nobody is in hookah right now. There's 3 players B long. That means that A is extremely vulnerable and probably playing somewhat far back. Look how much control has already been gained for Atlas. Free showers control. 3 people up A. Basha's still keeping 3 players on B too. UNCO will lose that out, so not all crystal clear for Atlas, but they're going to charge onto A all the same.
Yeah, because you see the side is actually almost there, though not all that's left is for the site to be planted so they can get their flag and show that the moon is theirs. Well, that being A side, of course. And there, the spike planted, America has won yet again, but now Frontside want to come in as the Brits and possibly take charge once over. But because back to Showers Great Reaper, the frenzy really gets down Melis. So you all still not within them, but 5v3. Atlas have a fair bit of an uphill battle, but shots like Pink on the Reaper will do exactly that. And they just get the defuse. No one even knows about it. And everybody, what?
There were a lot of smokes there, right? There were a lot of smokes. Nobody could see squat. Everybody was nervous except Jag, dude. Nerves of steel sticking that defuse. Great start for Frontside. They definitely needed that momentum. If Atlas had picked up that pistol, things would have gotten out of hand very quickly. It probably would have been 10-5, and then it's hardly a winnable map. Now Frontside should be able to close the gap a little bit here, right? And even though this is a very aggressive composition, Frontside, they have the advantage of having things like the Cypher, like the Phoenix. Phoenix very good on B long. You can see the pressure already being applied to Natesy and Pink, who are trying to take control of that.
It actually takes a huge hit from the shot dart too. And I believe a couple of pot shots as well. When they forced out of hookah, forced to rotate too. So hookah's still in favor, you know, for Frontside. As looking to try to make this beat long play, but there's 3 stacked up and 2 pushing into elbow as well. They know that at least the Jet and the Phoenix are there, and likely one more because that's the usual stuff they've had for all end in time here, Paul. So, but I like the way the fronts that at least Atlas deciding to slow play a little bit, not overcommit on anything. Spike still left outside as they're inching their way in onto site.
Frontside still have all their players. Ooh, maybe one. Not long for this world. Right click. Nerf it. I'm going to say it time and time again. The classic right click is still too strong. Frontside still have an advantage here. The spike hasn't made its way onto the site yet. Not everything is cleared out, but Frontside have to keep their heads on a swivel. They know 2 players have snuck into elbow, so Grim Reaper actually going to try and go forward, clear out Hookah all alone. No support, just gives him a gun.
Immediately, so and now they're gonna advance immediately now to Atlas's favor because that's a 3v2 as well, but not a low health bars as Jack comes to the back. Pressing lock on down. Jack gets 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want more? Yes, he does. Clutches the round, Frontside 8-6.
Jack, nasty. Keep in mind, not only a top performer for Frontside on this map thus far, but also was the top performer on Ascent, if I remember correctly, or at least one of the top performers doing an amazing job on that Omen. Now, does get a lot of information, right? Is generally the, you know, not the person running in and dying to the enemy team to get those information, make those calls out, but credit where it's due. Jag making tons of use, and I mean, that was straight up just a 1v3. They didn't have tons of health, but still, you take those where you take those. And now we get a bonus round for Frontside.
Posted up with 2 Buckies in Hookah though, and we know that definitely all of Atlas have heard of them. They do not want to face checking these at all. So they will often go at the back, use the grenade to clear out the site, but Jag gets the better of Basha yet again with his peak though, but Nightsy challenges him as well, so we get the trade for his team. A nice little flash, but it's a little bit too wide, and Raji's ready for it. Remember, it takes a second for the blitz patch to come by. The second is all that he needed. So trades back and forth you get on both sides. I'm liking that at least Atlas is able to, you know, command or get revenge for their teammates. Still, Spike not committed to any other side as look to push through showers to A.
Just smokes going out. This will end up at A. Grim Reaper waiting to hear that plant going down.
Hey, careful now.
Don't believe that Molly is going to stop much of anything. Does get a decent chunk of damage, though, onto Malik. So you take those wins where you can get them. Bucky's for the retake going to make this pretty difficult, but not impossible.
You know,
Cute little love there.
Yeah, we use the flash shot to push in to clear all the angles, so Shower's not really on their favor, but they're all holding all the back sight. So we need to push in the most, and this got very, very low. Our breath could knock him over, and Hencher decides to breeze on him, able to give him that favor, and didn't even blink.
Yeah.
He saw the head and clicked it, bro. That's what you'd like to see. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Valorant.
I like the position there from Atlas. They had Melix just holding down lamps, making sure that no one was coming in from that direction. And then, especially once they heard it was, you know, 2 Buckies over by the spike, it was very easy for them to challenge those longer angles and just make sure that that got cleaned up. Now, was the bonus round for Frontside. Atlas were expected to win that to a degree. Now they have to try and chain together these gun rounds. This is the turning point. If Frontside get this, we're looking at a very close map. If Atlas take this round, might not be the case. They could run away with it right here, right now.
To go for a bit of a different push right now, considering they've all stacked in right on to B. Essentially with just 2 on A, though, was all holding it onto side, 2 into garden. I believe they probably spotted them. I believe like Jet and the Phoenix initially, but you see getting picked off by A. That's actually really big. To pushing it through shots would possibly try to catch some information or get a pick or 2, but him being down though immediately gives over A control to Frontside. So now we'll have to see how they decide to commit out to B. You're gonna slow playing it here, Paul. So make a slow push into Hookah. Mostly's not gonna caught on gets 2. That is gross, man. How you channel that?
The unfortunate stacking on that angle there for Atlas. And now in this pivotal gun round, they are pretty much a lost cause for at least this round. Seems like they're going to try and go toward me. No, okay, that smoke is just a fake. I think this is a much safer call. Atlas, they have not built up nearly enough economy to just chuck guns away. And I seriously doubt Frontside are going to hunt them down either, because you really don't want to give control of either of the sites. You don't want to give a spike plant over. So a stalemate to end this, but not a real stalemate, because Frontside still get the dub on the board. Should be enough money for Atlas to continue buying, though. So off this save, they avoid the dire consequences that could have come from this round.
But now, again, like you mentioned, Paul, this was a round for Frontside to win. They absolutely needed to, because it was bonus for the Atlas, as considered they were expected to take the second. But now with 9-7, they're slowly and surely making their way back into the game after a very, very tough half.
We're gonna have gun rounds for a while now, because if Atlas lose, they have lost bonus pad in their pockets, and if Frontside lose, they already have padded pockets. So. No, that round is no longer as pivotal as it could have been because of the good economy management there from Atlas. They're going to go aggressively here towards this A site. Oh, the Hunter's Fury coming out and a Blade Storm too, contesting that angle. One pick has to come from this, and it does. No way that front side were getting out of that clean.
Not at all, though, and that's also U-Haul clear too, which means side is being broken up about Razi peeking out the back, gets picked, but you only have that Marshall, so doesn't lose. They don't lose everything because it's 4-4. And he's gonna pick up the spike, the site into their favor. They're maintaining control, but Spike still hasn't gone down. That's so many seconds wasted. That's so unfortunate, but still peeking at the back. The black spots won by Heaven. So it missed the initial shot. So the drone should cast a little bit of information on where everybody's position. A spike is planted.
Tons of util here for Natesy. That every single bit of utility on the breach is going to stall Frontside longer and longer, and then it will become a bloodbath when they finally explode.
Let me see. He's looking at such a tight angle. He's one of the shots in the air, but he cannot. He got peaked at the end. Is one after another. The Melix is holding down on U-Haul. It is just him and back against the world. Atlas needs to start to promise. He tried to gain back some momentum. Get the headshot. He's about to come. Gets another. Oh, he's so low, but he doesn't seem all the way up high. Like their savior. He says confident, but this time Moses will not die.
Like I said, man, a bloodbath there, but one that Frontside narrowly come out on top of. Oh boy, we're just not allowed to have one-sided maps here. 9-8 now on bind. Frontside have comfortably made their way back into this series. Atlas, they have one last chance to try and keep their lead. A lot to do it with. Showstopper and a judge once again for Basha. Have to imagine he's gonna get aggressive with that. Rolling Thunder at the ready too to just get unleashed at the beginning. Nobody's in lamps though. Are they just gonna run that for? No, okay. This will spot out at least one.
Off your feet!
There comes a heavy hit. That Rolling Thunder done hit squat, and Shower's control is maintained by Frontside, at least until Basha gets up in here. No, he doesn't actually get it with the Showstopper. Still super winnable for Frontside, and a nice spam from Grim Reaper.
They were so far back, he's not even able to touch them, but all with Basha dying too, and taking a lot of util down, doesn't get the paint chills at all, but Pink gets the refrag, so still 4-6, so I make that 3-3. So Mellis gets his counterpart, who smokes down, completely down from Frontside, running back to the door for Grim Reaper, doesn't get much information, but Razi on the flank, able to get the second, but Nate's ready and waiting to challenge him. Back down to 2v2, it's the same sort of bloodbath we see, but Nate's fraggy. We saw him in the killjoy before, and on the breach yet again, whether it be a beanie or a ponytail, Nate continues with the same frags.
Nate is like the calm brain that directs the chaotic energy of Atlas. All of these players just charging forward, doing insane stuff. And Natesy is the one holding down the fort. Doesn't matter if it's that Killjoy like we saw on map 1 or Breach here. Excellent use of utility regardless of the agent. And now Atlas, they're in the double digits. They are inching closer to not only or match win, but an appearance in the grand finals here of UPL. Oh, not quite a pick, but very close to one. Basha got away with 2 HP.
I don't know about you, but about that, Paul, but I clench myself a little bit. The fact that he just barely managed to make it out, situations, because those bullets also kind of slow you down too. I was thinking like, oh, yo, no way. He's done free opening pick. This man lived. Yo, shout out to you, fam. Please share me all of your secrets on not dying at the beginning of the round. I would love to know. As the rotation comes out. Side of Atlas though, because they know that besides completely getting locked down, there's always 3 on there too. Previously, what they tried to do, this Hyunsu got picked off, right, by the Cypher, but although Russell wanted their favor, they catches the drone, so they know he has to be there, and they get to get a similar position. Melix has the TP, so he could probably just try to come in for the flank though, but yet again, they pretty much just have one member just down on the side of Atlas, and Rodzi peeks it yet again and getting out Hyunsu.
Shame that Rodzi doesn't spot that it's the Raze there. Spamming through the wall there, probably would have gotten a second kill. Instead, Rodzi's the one who gets spammed. Oh, through a smoke too!
Way.
Good counter paranoia here, but Jag doesn't get anything out of it. It just gives away his position. And they're gonna try and pinch onto him in lamp too.
They have to run this a really, really beautiful flash setup by the breach as well to support the Jet as she moves in, bro. The coordination between these two has been absolutely a treasure to see so far. And they've been playing really well together. This concussing blows out. As if it just doesn't get concussed, but he has to be far to the back. then this he cannot be allowed to push in, but then now they catch him. Believe it, just spotted his tail at the last second. The Basha holding suicide angle. Wait, Pabasha coming anybody come out the spike. He spots him, but Mosa will not go up high yet again. He sticks on out the spot and plants himself, but they read it. Atlas are 2 away from taking us home.
Excellent setups on the A site this whole map on their attack. These post plants are very well executed. I love that they keep Natesy toward lamps there. You have so many different angles that you can flash as Breach from that position, right? It makes you such a threat to the entirety of Frontside because you never know when or where a flash is coming from, and that gives invaluable support over to the rest of Atlas. Frontside, they're working with scraps now in this round. They need it's starting to feel like they might need a little bit of divine intervention to take their map pick away here, Ravish, and send us to a third.
I mean, if there's a guy that's listening, which is probably you, Paul, you need to speak to them. You need to speak to them. Talk to your team. Let her know what's happening with Grim Reaper. I both love and hate this. Just as such an aggressive suicide angle set up by him right by the smoke. He has one job and one job only. To be able to get as many picks as possible before he dies, but that wall gives away his position as Basha comes in, piecing through, he'll be able to get one with the flag by Magician. But the Stinger able to get the revenge, but still the side should be theirs. Jag on that Marshall gets tagged. Pink is not letting them have it, and we see Jag here before, and the last time it didn't go too well for him, Paul.
It's always funny to watch players who get flashed like walk into walls because like they think they're just a little bit further like back or forward than they are and like making their way out, and we have the unfortunate we have the unfortunate omniscient view of unlucky they're not getting away. Frontside might not be getting away from this series. Need 4 flawless rounds here. Keep in mind, Frontside, we're down on Ascent. It was 12-10 and they sent us to overtime. But 4 rounds in a row is certainly difficult. They don't have much economy to make it happen either. Oh, man, I have to wonder if Jag even has the paranoia.
Here.
3 people instantly going out showers. A very aggressive play, but one that is counteracted. Mazin pushing up forward, though, is going to jet differential that. Natesy now in a little bit of a rough spot, but is Breach. Uses a second flash to have Frontside disengaged. Oh, what a beautiful read from Magician. One more tag. He gets it there. And Frontside, 4 rounds is a lot to ask, but this first one's looking pretty good.
I mean, if they keep doing this for 3 more rounds in a row, they said repetition is key. And I mean, although I never followed it, but Boston right now is definitely feeling it. It's just 2 left on the side of Atlas. I mean, at this point, if I'm me, which I am, consider you have no flashes on your side, I say you save, man. You go ahead, you load up, maybe try to get a pick at another, right? Just gonna go for it. Essentially, look, if you're gonna do this play, you might as well buy a Guardian. Because Guardian will do the job and a little bit better as well. I understand that Vela can do this too.
Bro.
What?
Who needs a Guardian when you're Natesy, dude? Phantom is all that is necessary. Fake
30 seconds
TP.
left.
Frontside should be able to read that that's at least a possibility. They know it was the Omen who was in Belong. He's gonna go for a second one.
No,
but he doesn't pull anyone away from B, man. Still a 2v3 on B's site while Grim Reaper holds down A.
But Natesy comes in for the flank through hook. He's able to get one. Are they actually able to pull this off? No. They know where Melix is, and Natesy dies as well. Jag doing a fantastic job of holding it down.
Great position on the map there from Frontside. They leave their Phoenix in showers because if he hears somebody running towards him up from the teleporter, easy flash, easy frag, right? And then they can reconvene to find the last player and take them out on A if necessary. 4 versus 1. Long way to go still for Frontside, but now they have some economy to make it happen. A lot up here for Atlas, though. Showstopper, Hunter's Fury, ults to be not really ults you want to contend with if you are Frontside.
I think a lot of it will start off with Bosch's Showstopper as well. He's able to get the pick like he has before. He is kind of 1 for 1 so far within that. So, like, not too bad, especially on the attacking side. There he goes, he opens it up, looks at the back, doesn't get the shot, every 2 for 1, but it doesn't matter because he still gets the kill. Grenades are going to use Artis Showers to push most of the backfield, but Artis Fury will tag him, he knows he's there. One more shot to be able to get it. He goes up with the air, what a beautifully clever play. And Jai will go for the refry too, catches him as he doesn't have his gun out. Spy still not plant will force the rotation from Atlas.
I believe my internet is dying right now, Ravish. Carry me to victory.
I will 100%, my friend, because Melix at the back gets 2K, and there's just one person left on the side of Magician, and he needs to pull off the greatest stick of all time, carry his team to one more round, but he cannot do so. The acupuncture is deadly from Pig, and he will die. Both disappear. Atlas go up 2-0 and take us home, homie. There it is. You called it before, right at the beginning, Paul. It was going to be 2-0 for Atlas, but we did not expect it to be this close.
Credit where it is due to Frontside. They played with everything they had. I want to especially commend them for their performance on Ascent, because that is a map where they looked lost. Not but 2 weeks ago, right? A complete turnaround on that map for them, and Atlas was undoubtedly sweating about, right? Bind was always going to be difficult. Like I said, Team Atlas got away in pick and ban exactly how they wanted to. So this was always going to be an uphill battle for Frontside, just because of how the maps played out. But I really want to commend them. I thought they showed much better macro play in this series, right? They moved around the map and read their opponent much more proficiently than we've seen them do in the past. Frontside, from the team that, back in fall of 2020 was kind of getting bodied, now to a legitimate contender here in the UPL. You love to see this progression. I hope it's only onwards and upwards for them.
That they would move on into the finals for playoffs as well. So I'm very excited. Sorry, Atlas will say, but like you mentioned, but Frontside on the other end, dropping down to the 3rd place match though. But I believe with all that we've seen today, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of them. I am very excited to see what the next results of the other match to possibly, see who will come out on top of that. But you can find all these matches. But you know what? What's up?
If Iowa State somehow take that match, I will be floored, Ravish. I will be shocked. I don't know what I'll do. What's something ridiculous? I'm looking around for inspiration and I'm not getting any. But you know what?
We'll figure it out. Your head.
Nope, not doing that. Good try, but no.
Join the club. It's not that bad.
We'll figure something out, Ravish. But what we know for now is that Atlas will move on to the grand finals and Frontside down to the 3rd place, 4th place match. Credit to both teams and congratulations to Team Atlas. They get the dub on the day.
Yes, sir. With all that being said, we do want to thank our production team as always, Domcast and Brexero, for making us look good and for observing and doing all this. I want to thank you, my brother Paul, for hopping on the mic with me again. It's been far too long. I missed you, man.
Oh, yeah. You're always a pleasure to cast with, Ravish.
I appreciate you. I want to thank you all for watching, as well as everything from us here for the UPL catches next week for some more great value. Until then, I have been Ravish, the most ravishing man on the internet. Y'all take care. Peace.
Here.